All right, we've been getting some questions on our suspension parts. We want to go over all of these piece by piece for you. So we're going to start with the extended length titanium tie rod end sets. These are applicable to 991 GT3s, 981 GT4s, 718 GT4s, 992 GT3s, GT3 RSs, pretty much most of the modern front end cars. The only one that this does not apply to would be the 992 GT3 RS because Porsche made those long enough. Why is length an important parameter for a tie rod end? Well, let's talk about that. So, what role do tie rod ends play in the suspension? We'll start with that. The tie rod ends connect the steering rack to the knuckle. The knuckle is the thing that is where the wheel is connected and it's what's going to turn the car. So it's the piece that goes from the steering rack to the front of the knuckle that turns the wheels. Great. So as you move the wheels farther apart with more negative camber, the distance from the steering rack to the knuckle increases. Porsche doesn't make the stock tie rod ends for most of the cars, the exception, like we said, of the 992 GT3 RS, long enough such that you have enough thread engagement to make them safe. A lot of guys will get to negative 2.8, negative 2.9, negative 3, have just a couple threads on there, and then they spin the nut down to try and make it tight, and they just kind of cross their fingers and hope everything's okay. Our tie rod ends are extended with lots and lots of thread on them so that you don't have to worry about that. So that covers actually question 2. Why are extended tie rods required when adding negative camber to a Porsche GT? Asked and answered, counselor. What specific steering feedback changes can I expect? You probably won't be able to feel that the extended tie rods are in the car. They don't materially change the feeling of the car, other than when you increase negative camber, you must have them. Otherwise, the car is going to be unsafe. This is kind of a standard thing. It's like upgrading your brake fluid when you go on track. You kind of have to do this. Will this upgrade affect my alignment settings? Yes, in a way. It will allow you more range of toe adjustment versus being forced into whatever the length of the stock tie rod is with the few threads that you can get for camber. So it'll allow you to run our prescribed slightly toe out in the front without compromising without compromising the amount of thread engagement or nut that's going on it. Why choose titanium for tie rod ends? That's kind of a silly question. Why not? When we quoted it out at the machine shop, the cost between doing the aluminum or doing the titanium was only marginally different. And titanium's just a cooler material to put on the car if you can. So what's the durability comparison to stock tie rod ends? They're, I would say, about the same. You know, this is, your mileage may vary. If you drive the car in salt and grit and take it off road and drive it in the back 40, probably going to wear a little faster than not. But if you're like most guys and you drive the car on Sundays out in the mountains and you take it out into the track days, you're not going to have any problem with them. Can they impact my car warranty? I wouldn't expect so, because this is a like for like part exchange. Of course, if you have some trouble with your tie rod end, please call us first. Don't take it to the dealer and say, hey, you need to fix my aftermarket parts that I put on this car. That's probably an unreasonable thing. Do these parts require special tools for installation? Not really. No more than doing most suspension work. We do recommend that when you are doing suspension parts, things can be loaded, things can be heavy. If you've never done it before, probably best to have somebody that knows what they're doing do that work, generally speaking. If you are a shade tree mechanic and pride yourself on being able to do the work, then absolutely you're welcome to try. We do have instructions for 90%, 99% of the parts that we sell. What's the expected lifespan of these tie rod ends? The wear part's replaceable. The wear part for all of our suspension, that is the ball joint, is the highest grade that FK Rod Ends makes. It is a stainless Teflon coated part. They don't make anything better. So that's why we are excited, and excuse the air compressor going off. This is even though when we ask for quiet on the set, it doesn't always happen. So I wouldn't expect them to last any less than the stock parts as far as what's the expected lifespan. Do they need specific maintenance after installation? No. Just treat it like you would anything else on your car.